Okay, welcome to Tuesday Talks on AddictedToRunning.com. Today we have Liana, and she is from
Boston.
Yeah. And where can people find you at, Liana?
Run2munch.com and Run2munch on Twitter and Facebook. Same name everywhere.
Awesome.
Keep it simple.
So, just like Addicted to Running, Liana runs a bit too much apparently. So today,
gotta support the eating.
Yeah. Today I feel like bringing Liana on because she's actually looking to do a 50-miler this year. She's already signed up. Which one are you doing, by the way?
It's called TARC 50-miler. It's the first year they're doing it. It's kind of a trail running animals club. Mm-hmm. So it's very minimum support, minimum. It's not a big production. Mm-hmm. It's more of a local trail club.
So
that's in the area.
Is that going to be up in near Boston, or?
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's in Weston, Massachusetts, which is probably like 20-minute drive from Boston.
Oh, okay, real close. It's like a 5-day out your back door.
Yeah, it's not that far, which is why I signed up. Figure it's easier to show up when it's nearby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the first question is going to be just kind of how did you start running, and then what led you up to this point with your running?
So I initially started running when I started working full time, and I had to sit, and it sucked. So I was like, oh, I think people go to the gym. I guess that's what normal people do. So I started with that, and I started running for a little while, and I realized I wasn't that bad at it. Mm-hmm. But after a couple of years, I signed up for my first half marathon.
Awesome.
And pretty much 3 months later, I signed up for another one.
Which two were those? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was the Boston Run to Remember, which was in May 2011. And I remember I didn't actually get that far in my training. I think I stopped at 9-mile run. Mm-hmm. And I remember I finished it, and my cat's coming up here. I hear somebody creeping up, and it's the cat. So I finished it, and I remember I couldn't walk for probably a week. It was horrible, and for some reason, a week later, I signed up for another one a few months later. Mm-hmm. And this time I trained, and I think I finished in 1:41, maybe 1:45 for my second one. So I decided to sign up for a marathon in March in 2012, and that's when I ran my first marathon.
Which one was that?
It was the Run to Remember in not the Run to Remember. The Rock and Roll USA DC one.
Oh, awesome.
So it ended up being a pretty good race, even though I started late because the train broke down.
So what was your time on that? Your half marathon time? That's my PR is 1:45.
Yeah.
I felt like I was flying.
It was 3:24. So it was a good race considering I started late.
Awesome.
But I think I trained a lot more for that one.
For your training, just because my marathon PR is only 4:10, so your training, what have you done for your training leading up into those races and kind of leading up to now?
I did. I think what helped me with that race is I do a lot of treadmill running, and I don't keep it on flat. I usually run it on incline 3, which is not that strong of a grade, but it's stronger than most road races are. Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of twice a week I would run 10 to 12 miles on the treadmill with that, and then on a weekend I would have one long run.
Did you normally leave a recovery day in between those, or?
When I was training for that one, I was doing twice a week. I was doing the 10 to 12 miles, then a long run, and then a short run. So I think I was running around 4 times a week. Okay. When I was training for my first one, but I think my mileage went from 40 to 60 miles, depending on the week.
Oh, wow. And what was your longest long run before your marathon?
I actually went the full distance.
Yes.
I did 26 miles. Figured I need to know what to expect.
Oh yeah, I actually did a 50K training run with my buddies before I did my first marathon. That's a long story. Yeah.
That's a good way to train. You've got to know what you're expecting.
Exactly. Yeah. And so for your nutrition, because obviously, 3:24 is a pretty decent marathon, and 1:45 is a pretty decent half. What do you do for nutrition in your training and also in your racing?
I actually have probably weird nutrition compared to most runners. I don't really use goo, or I don't like protein shakes, or I'd rather eat real food in general
Mm-hmm.
versus kind of doing the shakes and the supplements.
Yeah.
But I do tend to eat a more a vegetarian-based diet. I
Okay.
mean, I'm not vegetarian, but I eat a lot of salads. I eat a lot of stir fry, usually with like rice, pasta,
Mm-hmm.
and probably I'm more of a carb-based person versus a lot of heavy meat and protein.
And then for like race nutrition, what do you like? You don't take goos or anything. Do you do those during races or?
I don't do it on my training runs. I usually take one goo during race because I see everybody else doing it. I'm not sure if it helps me or not. I can't say I enjoy taking that one. Although I do, I like the goo chumps,
Okay.
the ones that kind of look like Swedish fish.
Yeah.
So those are I kind of enjoy, but I can't say I feel a strong burst of energy after
Yeah.
digesting one.
So normally, do you just drink water during your training runs and races, or?
When I race, I drink water. I don't like the Gatorade. I think it makes my stomach unhappy. So I mostly, I try to go for the water table. Sometimes I mix it up and grab Gatorade and
Yep.
drink that, but generally water. And the other thing is I actually don't drink that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably stop for a half marathon. I'll probably stop once or twice. But I'm also in New England where we don't really have a lot of races in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the year it's kind of cold.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, like I'll go out for a 20-mile run and I probably won't have any water or.
Oh my. You're perfect. You sound like an ultra runner.
I mean, I have money with me. If I get thirsty, I'll go to a grocery store or gas station. But
Mm-hmm.
I generally in the winter don't carry water. In the spring and the summer I do, but I hate carrying things.
Yeah.
I have I don't like those like propulsion packs. I usually use a handheld bottle, and that kind of works for me in the summer.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
so leading up into the 50 miler, what you said that's when is it?
It's in I think it's June 14th. It's around when the longest day of the year is.
Okay.
I think they're trying to sneak in some extra sunlight for us.
Yeah. So it's like 6 months away. So do you have any races planned up into there, going into that?
I do. I actually have I'm running a 6-hour race in March.
Okay.
I guess if I do enough miles, that'll be my first ultra.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 3.5-mile course around the lake, and it just kind of repeats for 6 hours.
Oh, that's a pretty good chunk of mileage for one loop though, for a loop course like that.
Yeah, it's a little bit repetitive, but I figure it's a good way to get mentally prepared for 50 miles in the woods.
Oh, definitely. It's a flat 6-hour course or?
I
Pretty much?
don't think it's a very hilly course. I'm not sure. I know it's a trail course, but I don't know how much elevation it has.
Okay.
I think it's a relatively easy or beginner course, from what I hear.
Okay, and then any other races leading up into it?
Yeah, and then in April, I'm doing Boston and Salt Lake.
Okay.
And in May, I'm doing another marathon.
Oh, awesome. So you have a couple marathons, a 6-hour. You'll get 50K easy out of the way.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna be doing my own training runs, but unless there is a longer distance. Oh, I'm signed up for a couple of halves, but I don't generally sign up for shorter distance races because they kind of add up pretty fast.
Yeah. So how do you plan your training going up into this?
I have a rough sketch of what I want to do, and then kind of go with it. I mostly just I'm trying to do double long runs on the weekend. Monday is my rest day.
Okay.
I'm trying to I hate strength, so I'm trying to incorporate that more into it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more just basic home videos. I'm not going to be lifting hardcore things.
So those double long runs, kind of, because unless you're not the people are out there are ultra runners, most people don't hear those double long runs. So describe like how you start those off, and then like kind of how they transform as you go into your 50 miles.
So what I've been doing is So my long run, which is at the moment 20 miles, I'm not sure how high I'm going to go up. I'm probably going to go up to at least 31 miles.
Mm-hmm.
I think they usually kind of cap off around 30 miles, and at that point, you don't really need to keep running more other than maybe practice races.
Yeah.
And then I have a second run that probably on the same weekend that will probably cap off around 20 miles.
Okay, so you're looking at what's your longest double back-to-back thus far?
So this weekend I did a little bit over 21 miles, and then I did a 16-miler race the next day.
Oh my gosh!
But the main the main difference is I don't run as fast because I know I have a second long run the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So my long runs are much slower than when I was just training for a marathon.
Yeah.
They're not as much of a speed workout as they would have been when I was just training on one long run on a weekend.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of also like what kind of transitioning to different what shoes do you use, and are you looking at, obviously you have a triple trail races coming up, so you're looking to try something new out, or you going with a red shoe?
So I have 2 shoes at the moment. I'm using the Mizuno Wave Riders 15,
mm-hmm.
and I recently started using those. I only recently found out, I guess, that I'm a neutral runner, and so I don't need them to be as clunky as they were before.
Mm-hmm. A lot lighter?
Yeah, they definitely feel a lot lighter than the shoes I used to wear before. But I don't know if I'm totally into the minimalistic running part.
So did you do your marathon in your stability shoes?
I did, yeah, I ran in ASICS 2160s.
Oh man, I wonder how much faster your marathon's going to be this year.
I don't know. I ran I ran 2 other marathons after that one,
mm-hmm.
and one of them was Boston last year, and it was 90 degrees, and that did not go well.
I know, I heard.
Hallucinating at the end. And the other one I didn't really train for because it was in September. I'm not a summer runner.
Mm-hmm. And then for the trails, what are you looking at using?
So I got the Inov's rock lights.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're sort of maybe a little bit minimalistic. They're not heavy, they're not chunky, but they're a little bit rougher on the outside so they don't get ripped up by the rocks. Like,
okay.
We don't have compact, beautiful Southern California trails here. We just have rocks.
We got rocky trails out there too.
All I see is every time I see California trails, they look so beautiful. I mean, they're hilly, but
that's Northern California.
Maybe
San Diego we have rocks.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the San Francisco trails because they're just beautiful, like mountains of like compact dirt. From what I've seen.
Okay, awesome. So like the Innovate, well, it's called, not to correct you, but it's Innovate, yeah. I guess.
Oh, Innovate.
Yeah. My buddy always was like, foot, like it's a foot. I was like, no, it's an 8. He was like, it's a foot. I was like, cut, just stop arguing.
An 8,
but
right?
Actually, no. What's really cool with the Innovates is they there's a V on the heel of the shoe, and actually for every V is 3 millimeters added to the drop of the shoe.
Now I want to go check out what my drop is.
So like if there's no, like they make a 0 drop shoe, it'll be no V's, and then 3, 6, 9. Is usually how they step it up. So,
is it on the back of it, of the heel? Or
like right on the base of the back of it, there'll be like little V's, and you'll see them. Usually they'll stack them. If it's 9 millimeters, it'll be 3 stacked on top of each other. So that's always. So they do a really good job at like allowing you to transition into like a little less if you want to on a road. Because they have road and trail shoes, I guess. But no, that's really cool that you have 2 different brands that you like, and so
they've
kind of the thing.
Good.
Go ahead.
They've been pretty good. They've kept my feet dry in the snow, so.
And then it's something I don't have to deal with. Well, I haven't been in the mountains yet. We have snow up in the mountains, but next Wednesday I got to start running again. So
yeah, I guess I think I'd rather have snow than rain.
Mm-hmm.
Rain's a little grosser.
Awesome. So kind of to close out, do you have any tips going into? Honestly, you're a way faster runner than me, so I'm going to leave the floor open to you for any tips for especially females out there. I've only had one other ultra runner, female, and she loved Bree. she was pretty awesome. She's training for Badwater next year. So.
Yes. I've met a couple of, I've been kind of getting more involved in the trail running community, and some of the people are really badass. I think mostly, if you want to run faster, you need to run more. I think people get caught up very much in nutrition and shakes and different supplements, but at the end of the day, you need to eat enough food to run. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people get too caught up in counting calories to run faster. At least what I see from the beginner runners in the female group.
Okay, awesome. And they can, again, everyone out there watching can find you on runtoomuch.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then
this is my first video interview, so I'm probably a little awkward, but.
Oh, it's just an easy interview. That's what. Trust me, there's even worse out there, so you're good.
I'm surprised my cat hasn't dropped in and knocked my iPad over.
So, well, thanks for coming on. Definitely.
Right.
We're going to be looking. Leona has agreed to come on later after her 50-miler. We're all going to cross our fingers for her that she gets through it. Just becomes a mental game.
Coming up in June.
Becomes a mental game again. You can walk. I figured I could walk 50 miles so I could run it. So. That was kind of the goal. I wound up walking quite a good chunk of mine, but I think you get a lot faster marathon time than me, so I will cross my fingers.
I figure I can walk for a really long time. I mean, I grew up in New York City, so I'm used to a lot of walking.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just have to make sure I don't fall asleep mid-trail.
Oh, you'll be fine as long as you keep going. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on.
All right. Thank you.
Everyone out there, look forward to another Tuesday Talk coming hopefully next week. And again, be looking forward to after about June, July, for Leona coming back on, talking about our 50-miler and sharing wealth of knowledge with us at that point. So.
Okay, cool. Bye.
Bye.